Okay, so the moral of this story is don't ever get a white van. God, this cow look is so bad today. Chase Leon here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Man in the White Van. So, pretty simple premises based off true events that occurred in Florida from 1970 to 1975 about a guy in a white van who would kidnap a girl one time a year. And we're going to follow the girl from 1975 the most to see, will she get caught? Will someone in her family get caught? And how is she going to do to get her family to trust her? So, did I like this film? I thought it was a well-crafted, low-budget film. So this is, I think, the first film I've seen from Legion M, and it's a film company that is basically like, supporters are, average shows that are putting the money on this film. So I thought it was an interesting aspect because it looked very, very solid. Has some noticeable actors in it: Sean Astin, Larter's in it, and a bunch of kids as well. So when thinking about the look of the film, it is a nice looking film. I mean, no post production, it's all in camera, and it's all kind of believable because you could make it gratuitous, and that's not the point of this movie. It's more just to say, are you paying attention to your surroundings and who will actually believe you in these different scenarios? So like I said, good writing, good acting. I think it's a good, solid script, even though I do think there is some iffiness when it comes to the pacing in the first and second act of the movie, because when the third act comes, it is bonkers. It is, you don't know what is going to happen. I think that's what I like the most because, yes, even though it's based on true events, and the whole event is, it's a man in a van, and what has he done? And you've seen the tropes in a million other movies before. Even the Speedway murders, even though it's not a white van, it was still a brown slash orange slash gold slash yellow van. And so the vans in the 70s, man, they were not good. No bueno, no freaking bueno to get one of those vans in the 70s. So that is what I think I liked about the movie with the third act, because you had no idea what's going to happen. Because there's a lot of tension of like, okay, this is white van. Who's in the white van? Who's in the white van? And then when you get that, then it kind of cuts back to 1970, 80, gosh dang it, 1970, 1971, 72, 73, 74, of following these other girls that have been taken. And it's those stories are kind of non-existent because it's mostly she's at a pool, she gets kidnapped. A girl's walking her dog dies, the girl gets kidnapped. It's very simplistic because they probably took those type of stories out of the headlines and said, that did happen. A girl getting kidnapped with her dog died. Let's put that in the story. Let's put this in the story. Let's put this in the story. So it's very simplistic on that end, but I didn't mind it. Because with the third act, you have no idea what is going to happen. It's like, is it going to be her? Is it going to be her sister? Is it going to be her brother? Is her parents going to die? Who is going to believe them in this scenario? Because, yes, you could be like, there's too much dramedy with, the kids and having a boyfriend and girlfriend, having a phone in their room, wanting a horse. And you have that backstory, which I didn't mind that backstory either because you get to know the family of what they're going through and the different times during that period, because there wasn't really a helicopter appearance during that time, and you really believe everything was safe, especially in Florida. I mean, California's a little bit different because a lot of serial killers are coming out of California, but here's another serial killer in Florida during that time period as well. So like I said, negative is the pacing with the first and second act because you don't know where it's trying to go, and you understand you're trying to get these characters involved. But there were points where you're like, okay, where is this actually going to flow in the story? Because it was like, okay, what's the point? And there was no point for some of these character arcs or scenarios in this movie. But overall, The Man in the White Van, it's a solid serial killer movie that doesn't follow the serial killer tropes of being gratuitous. It is PG-13. It's really a PG-13 for the elements and some violent scenes. I think with the 1973 or 72 murder, they do go a little bit more in depth of how this person was killed with a hatchet. And I think the other year was more of like you see them in a shed. Looks like they're about to get raped. So they have the innuendos in it, but they don't actually show the act. And I think that's the right thing to do, just like Woman of the Hour. I think that's the best comparison is to this and Woman of the Hour, where they take the source material of someone getting murdered, but not gratuitizing the murders themselves, but the actual characters that are involved in these scenarios. So yes, The Man in the White Van, if you could find it, I kind of recommend it because it is a low budget, good looking film, good, messaging as well as pay attention to your surroundings because that's what I do. I make sure who's been following me or who's in the, because at this movie theater, before going in, a random dude just comes out of nowhere. I swear to God, like out of the bushes, like, hey. And I'm like, nope, sorry, don't have any money. Because I assume he's like, no, I need to jump my car. And I'm like, well, where's your car, bro? You literally came out of the bushes. Like, no, I don't have jumper cables, which I kind of do. But at that point, I just didn't feel comfortable. And then going into this movie about, what Perry says to your surroundings, it's kind of relevant overall. But yes, good acting, good writing, good looking movie, good directing, some pacing issues, but overall, it's a decent thriller. So the Man in the White Van will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 80%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics a 64% with 11 of them, no critic consensus, and no audience score. But yeah, so yeah, some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people called it dull. Some people say it was undercooked, but some also said it's just more like psychological drama, and I think it was more psychological drama for sure. 64-80. Chase out here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing's Bhutontopia. You Blue Futonians, take a watch of a great day. Watch to take tomorrow week from mouth and you found every single freaking one of you. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous.